The date is February 23rd, 2026, and the global silver market has just hit a tripwire. While the mainstream media remains focused on domestic politics, the world's single largest producer of silver, Mexico, is currently engulfed in a structural crisis. In late January, 10 mining workers from the Vizsla Silver Project were abducted by cartel factions in Sinaloa, and as of this week, massive nationwide protests have paralyzed mining regions in Durango, Chihuahua, and Sonora. We aren't just looking at a local security issue. We are looking at the potential shutdown of a country that provides 25% of the world's silver. Mexico is the heart of the silver world. Every single day of disruption at these mines creates a ripple effect that hits the solar, electric vehicle, and AI infrastructure sectors. The paper price on your screen is currently sitting near $87, up 6% today, but that price is based on the assumption that the supply from Mexico is still flowing freely. It isn't. Mines are suspending operations, and federal troops are being deployed to the north. This is a supply shock that the paper markets have not yet fully priced in, but here's the open loop that should keep you awake at night. While the mines in Mexico are under siege, a completely different signal is screaming from the digital 24/7 markets. A specific gold-backed asset, PAX-G, is currently trading at a staggering premium, hitting over $5,180 on a Sunday night. This indicates that a group of informed insiders is frantically bidding up the price of precious metals while the traditional Western exchanges are still closed. What do these insiders know about the Monday opening bell? There is a specific invisible indicator, a number currently 24 times higher than its historical average, that suggests the COMEX vault might already be empty. How can a crypto gold premium on a Sunday night predict a total market collapse on Monday morning? To understand the danger, we have to look at the Sun forward signal and the hidden trap waiting for the banks when the sun rises. In the last section, we identified the massive gap between the physical reality in Mexico and the paper promises in New York. But why is the smart money paying a premium on a Sunday night? The answer lies in the silver lease rate. In a healthy market, this rate is near zero, but right now it has exploded toward 8%. This is the market's way of screaming that there is no physical metal available for loan. The big banks are so desperate for physical bars that they are paying predatory interest just to hold them for 30 days. This confirms what the COMEX data is trying to hide. The registered inventory has officially crashed below the 100 million ounce floor. As of February 11th, total registered silver fell to just 98 million ounces. This is the first time in modern history we have reached such a critical level. For the exchange, this isn't just a shortage, it's a structural failure. But here is the open loop that could trigger a total system reset. While the vaults are emptying, there is a trapped short position currently visible in the data. A billionaire trader in Shanghai is reportedly holding a 450 metric ton naked short position, but the entire Shanghai Futures Exchange only has 318 tons left in the vault. He has sold more silver than the entire exchange owns. He is stuck in a room with no doors. If he cannot find the metal to deliver, the exchange must activate a crisis protocol that could legally allow them to seize your silver and hand you a check instead. What is the nuclear option hidden in the exchange rulebook that allows them to cash settle your silver? And why are companies like Samsung and Tesla already bypassing the exchanges entirely? We are about to see the margin massacre playbook in action. But if you know how the house cheats, you can avoid the trap. To navigate a market this volatile, you need a professional grade strategy. I call it the VPP Framework: vault, pressure, and position. We have already verified the vault is empty. Now we must look at the pressure. March is the major delivery month for silver. As of February 23rd, there are over 366 million ounces tied to March contracts, while the COMEX only has 102 million ounces in its total delivery inventory. This is a 3-to-1 deficit. Under normal conditions, only a tiny fraction of traders ask for the physical metal. But the delivery demand has recently surged. If even 30% of March contract holders stand their ground and demand their bars, the COMEX officially hits zero. But why is the exchange allowing the vault to drain to nothing? It is because they have a nuclear option. Under force majeure rules, the COMEX can legally suspend physical delivery and force a cash settlement. This means if you spent years waiting for silver to hit $100, they could freeze the price at 80, hand you 80 paper dollars, and cancel your contract. You get the cash, but you lose the asset right before it goes vertical. But here is the open loop that should make your blood run cold. Even if the exchange forces a cash settlement, they cannot stop the industrial panic. A solar panel company cannot build a product with a cash settlement. We are already seeing the first signs of a shadow market. Industrial buyers are now signing private offtake agreements with miners, bypassing the COMEX entirely. This creates a shadow price that the public cannot see. If the world's biggest corporations are already voting against the exchange, what happens to the retail investor when the paper wall finally collapses? There's a specific rug pull strategy the banks have used twice before to wipe out everyone standing in their way. How does the margin massacre work? And what is the one invisible signal in the Shanghai market that tells us the banks have already lost control? When the exchanges get desperate, they don't look for more silver. They change the laws of physics for the market. This is known as the margin massacre. In January 2026, after silver hit an all-time high of $121, the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the CME implemented massive margin hikes in just 72 hours. The result was a historic crash that dragged the price from the 100s down to the $70 range. This is the house always wins playbook. By raising the cost of admission while the price is high, the exchanges trigger a cascading liquidation that protects the big commercial shorts. But here is the open loop that makes this time different. In previous crashes, the vaults were still physically full. Today, they are fighting a war of atoms. While the paper price was crashed to the 80s, the Shanghai Metals Exchange is currently trading at a $10 premium. In the East, physical silver is still trading north of $100. We are witnessing a price decoupling. One price exists on the digital screen to flush out retail traders, while a completely different price exists in the real world where physical metal is actually moving. But there is a shadow giant in the East that is currently ignoring the Western price entirely. How is China, SNU, Strategic Export Control, about to turn this paper crash into a permanent physical shortage? And what is the one Eastern signal you need to watch on Tuesday morning to know if the paper market is about to lose its authority forever? The physical world is facing a math problem that no margin hike can solve. We are currently heading into our 6th consecutive year of a structural silver deficit. By the end of 2026, the cumulative shortfall is projected to reach massive proportions. Silver is no longer just for jewelry. Every electric vehicle requires twice the amount of silver used in a traditional car, and the solar industry is now consuming nearly 200 million ounces annually. Even though manufacturers are trying to use less silver, global solar capacity is expanding so fast that the total demand continues to skyrocket. But here's the open loop, that the big banks are terrified. You can all discover there's an invisible giant currently vacuuming up the world's remaining physical supply. While Western investors are being distracted by paper crashes, JP Morgan has amassed a record-setting physical position. Simultaneously, India has added 40 million ounces of silver to its exchange-traded funds in just 2 months. If the world's most powerful banks and the world's largest emerging markets are fighting over the same dwindling pile of metal, what happens when they stop buying from the open market and start buying out entire mines? The kind of smart money is already moving to the final stage, a phenomenon known as industrial outbidding. In our final part, we reveal the specific point of no return, indicators, and the ultimate strategy for 2026 to ensure your portfolio is not left holding a worthless digital promise. We have reached the event horizon. As of today, February 23rd, 2026, the silver market has fundamentally split. On one side, the paper price is recovering toward $87. On the other, the COMEX registered inventory has officially crashed to 98 million ounces. This is the point of no return. The real catalyst isn't just a number, it's a policy shift. China has officially moved to protect its own supply, implementing export controls that have cut off 70% of the global supply to the West. Silver is now a strategic material. This move was what sent silver to $121 last month, proving that when the physical supply vanishes, the paper rules stop mattering. So, how do you protect yourself? The strategy for 2026 is simple. Decouple from the system. Move away from paper ETFs that can be cash settled and move into sovereign vaulting. Ensure that the silver you own is not someone else's liability. The industrial outbidding has begun. Tech giants are going directly to miners, creating a shadow price that the public cannot see. But there is one final indicator, the Shanghai Gold Exchange premium. As of this week, Shanghai is fixing at roughly $10 above Western spot prices. This is the Eastern signal telling us that the floor is set and the next leg up is imminent. What happens when the Shanghai market reopens on Tuesday and the East realizes the West has no metal left to deliver? We are about to witness the ultimate price decoupling, where the screen price becomes irrelevant and the physical premium becomes the only price that matters.